Yes, yes, yes. Miss Jeanie Tracy, y'all. Let me just tell y'all a little bit about Miss Tracy before we bring her on. Actually, I have to say, Rez, I had such a wonderful time talking to her today just for a minute. We just had a really brief conversation and I loved her immediately. I started telling her about grandma. That's how comfortable I was speaking with her, you know? Yeah, about my grandma. So let me just say that she's been entertaining the masses with her beautiful voice, starting with the time that she was a background singer. She provided backing vocals for the likes of the legendary Sylvester, and others may recall her amazing performances on the hit show Star Search. Now, for you youngins, that's like American Idol, before American Idol. Okay, and she won like I think 6 weeks in a row. We have to ask her about that. We have to hit that, and it was not easy. That show, there was no auto tune and all of that stuff. Okay, um she won several weeks in a row on Star Search, and she also wowed us with her acting performance. Okay, she doesn't only sing, but she was acting as Mahaliia Jackson in the play Mahaliia, a gospel singer. Um, just amazing, just amazing. She also had a string of number one dance hits: "The Power," "Cha Cha Heels," "Party People," "Living for Your Love." I mean, look, she's just amazing, and I am going to now amaze you by bringing her on. I'm gonna bring her on. I'm going to
Trying to break me
bring
up.
her on.
There I am.
I'm there.
There
There
I
we
am.
There,
go.
there she is.
Hi. Hello, ladies.
And she's fabulous, fabulous, fabulous. How are you, dear?
Did she
She is
freeze?
frozen. I think she is frozen. So it may be your phone.
How are you?
Oh, okay. There you go. We are good. We are good.
Yeah, I can see you.
Yes, we
Okay,
can
good.
see
So
you.
how are you, ladies?
We're good. We're good. We're good. How's everything with you? Have you been? How's this being in the house or being on lockdown? How's that going for you?
It's fine because I'm used to that. You know, if I'm not roading it or in the studios, I'm at home. And I
Okay.
love my solitude, my dogs, my husband, and I'm fine.
All right. How many
Nice.
dogs you got?
Two. I got a little Chihuahua and a little Maltese poodle. No, I mean
Really?
Maltese Terrier. Yeah.
Oh,
Wow. Okay. And their names, I have to ask.
Uh, Rosie. I just got her about 2 months ago because I lost my other little
Oh,
Chihuahua named Taco. His name was Taco, and
oh, sorry, Taco.
the other
That's
one's
cute.
name is Kobe. Yeah, it almost killed me, but Rosie brought some sunshine in my life. I'm sorry to keep moving around. I'm trying to get a balance here.
it's
That's
okay.
okay. That's all right. So as I spoke to you before, I do want to touch on just for a minute, just for a moment, your experiences. Actually, before we even go there, at what point, how did you figure out that singing was the thing for you, the thing that you do well? How did it all start for you?
Well, at 3 years old, my aunt was a great singer, and she used to sit down with me and play gospel records, and then she would show me, teach me how to sing and have me sing along with her. And so that wasn't when I really decided that I wanted to be a singer. I was 11 years old and I started playing for church because I studied classical piano, and
Mm,
my mother wanted me to be a classical pianist, and
wow.
so that was her desire. But then I caught the bug and um, started playing for church, by ear, what they call by ear. And
Yeah.
so I think it was when I was about when I was in high school. I was doing a lot of singing in the talent shows and that kind of thing, and so kind of caught the bug then.
Nice. Nice. And so I'm gonna assume that you won a talent show or two.
Or three.
Yeah. But I think when it hit me was when a guy came to my house one night because the guitar player was missing, and not missing, but he was ill. And so he asked me to come and play with his band. And I was saying, I don't know how to play the songs, because I was just used to doing luncheons and things like that. And I was going to college. And so when he came and got me, they let me play all the songs that I knew. What I didn't know was the band was on, like, in 2 weeks they were going to be leaving, and they had gotten their notice to leave. And so when the club owner saw me, he says, I'll let you stay for another couple of years if you keep her. So that's when I
Oh,
said, oh, and I can make money too. All
Wow.
right.
Yeah.
nice.
That's a great beginning. So you were singing as the lead of your own band.
Well, that wasn't my band. I just played in a band, but I did, after I left them, I did get my own band.
Cool,
I can't
groovy.
remember the name of it. I can't even remember the name of the band, but they were great players. And so, but then I decided along the way I didn't want to play anymore. I just wanted to stand up and sing. So that's
Right.
how that started.
So
Nice.
you started off in the church. Was your family very religious? Did they say you can't sing the devil's music? What are you doing, child?
No, my mother, she was saved, sanctified, and filled with the precious Holy Ghost, and that would fight. She was reasonable, and because she wanted me to play classical music, she said I could sing love songs, but I couldn't sing the blues. That was her only thing. I could not sing the blues. I didn't care for the blues anyway then.
Right,
Of
right,
course, I
right,
love it now. But then, I wasn't interested in blues. Then I was singing, Motown and things like that.
right.
Mm.
That's interesting though. Like you could sing what you want. You could sing love songs, but not the blues. I wonder why not the blues.
I know. I didn't get it. But anyway, so that I wasn't interested. It was fine. And I would bring my little records home, and she was really okay with that. I just go in my room and play my little records, and when I go play the piano, I try to you know play the songs that I didn't try to play them. I played them because I remember Aretha Franklin playing the piano and singing. And one of the songs that I really loved was uh, Here I Am by the Railroad Track.
Mm.
Looking for my baby, he's coming back. And I remember playing it, I mean, just like she played it.
Mm.
And there was a girls' assembly one day, and the auditorium was packed, and they had me to sing. And I mean, when I started playing it like Aretha, it just tore the place.
Mm.
And the lady was running up and down the aisle saying, "Stop it! Stop it! Stop it!"
Wow.
Because the kids were up dancing in the aisles and stuff. And I don't know what the assembly was about, but it wasn't about music anyway. But it just turned into be a fest. So it was pretty
Wow.
cool.
You
Nice.
turned it out. You turned it out. That's what happened. You turned it out. Kids was
I
they
was
broke
laughing so hard. She couldn't control it, because everybody just,
lost their minds.
See,
yeah.
I
see.
love it. I love it. So at some point you met Sylvester, right? And how did you meet him, and how did at what point were you singing with him? Because
Yeah, I met Sylvester. Well, Harvey Fuqua came to town, and he started a label there. And you know about Harvey, right?
Mhm.
a little bit.
Harvey Fuqua was with the Motown, and he was responsible for. He was Harvey and the Moonglows in the 50s,
Mm,
and then he and Marvin Gaye were very, very close friends. I think he was Marvin's manager at one time. Well, he came to Oakland to start his own label, and he had heard about me, and he heard about Sylvester, and so he came to a club that I was playing at. So He came up to me. A radio disc jockey brought him to the club, and so he said he was interested in, recording me, and he was starting his own label and that. So I went over to visit the place that they had leased out and everything, and we became really close. And he became my manager and producer. And we went over to see Sylvester came over at that time as well. And I didn't know Sylvester was Sylvester. I
Hmm.
thought it was
Oh,
a I thought he was a woman.
oh, okay.
Okay.
And they said, "Oh, Jeanie, this is Sylvester." We were talking and we were getting on and everything. Then all of a sudden, and they said, "Oh," I said, "What's your name?" He goes, "Sylvester." They said, "Oh, Jeanie, this is Sylvester," because we had been talking for a minute before we were introduced, right? And all of a sudden, I said, "Sylvester, I thought you was a woman." And then I said, "Oh, I'm sorry." He goes, "Oh, girl, that's all right." So that was the beginning of everything.
Right. So he had heard you sing at some point. What were Martha Wash was Martha Wash already singing background, or like how
Yes, she was singing background. She and Azora was singing
right.
background. And so what the what the deal was supposed to be was, once we got established with Harvey, and Honey Records was the name of the label. Well,
Hmm.
Fantasy label was in Oakland or Berkeley as well, and so they connected with Fantasy to be the distribution company. So it was Honey and Fantasy Records combined. So what ended up happening, it was supposed to be Sylvester, the girls, the Two Tons of Fun, and myself and Eric Robinson. And that's the way it was supposed to go, as for recording, recording projects. So I went over to see, Sylvester and the girls with Harvey and Nancy Pitts. And it was funny because when I was singing on Broadway in San Francisco, my guitar player was named Ralph Wash, and he used to tell me all the time that I reminded him of his sister. And I said, "Oh, does she sing?" He said, "Does she sing? Jeanie, you should hear. You remind me a lot of her. The way you look, and everything." And I said, "Really?" So I said, "What's her name?" No, what? No, I asked him her name, and he told me. And so, and he told me a story that she was, when she was in high school, she went to England with her school choir. So when we went to see Sylvester, we were all downstairs in the dressing room. And so I looked at Martha and I said, "Hi, you look so familiar to me." She said, "So do you. And so I didn't, so what's your name? She said, "Martha." So I didn't, I still didn't get it. And she kept talking, and we were all laughing and talking. And she said, "When the school went to England," I said, "You went to England? You went to Poly?" She said, "Yeah." I said, "What is your name?" She said, "Martha." I said, "What's your last name?" She said, "Wash."
Yeah.
"So you're Ralph's sister." She said, "Yeah, and what's your name?" I said, "Jeanie Tracy." She said, "Oh my God, he talks about you all the time." I said, "He talks about you all the time." And so we just had a connection from that point on.
That's a beautiful thing. That is a beautiful thing. So you did your thing with Sylvester, and you moved on. So what was that like? Like separating from that, like, I mean, because recording with Sylvester must have been exciting and different because he's
Oh,
making
yeah.
hits back then, right? He's
Oh,
making,
yeah.
so you're a part of a hit making machine, and then somehow you had the courage to go off on your own.
Well, Sylvester passed, and that was,
Oh, okay.
and the whole deal was not for me to stay forever. I was supposed to move on anyway. But for me, I like to stay with things that work, you know.
Right.
And so when he passed, that just meant I had to move on, you know.
Okay.
And so it took me a while to gather myself, you know, to move on. But then when I did, there was no stopping me.
Yeah. Yeah. So
Miss
then
And
that
so
must
it
have
was,
been pretty hard for you then if your intention was to stay with him long term and then he became ill. I mean, living through that illness, because I had some friends that had passed during that same time. That couldn't have been easy. Um
no, it was very difficult, you know. But during the time that I was with him, it was just fun. And, you know, the girls and I were great friends, and singing with him was amazing, you know. And the trips on the road, stories, I have lots of stories.
I
But,
was gonna
you
ask
know, but
you
then
about.
after, you know, he got sick and everything, it just, you know, I had to gather myself and, you know, say, okay, what am I going to do? And so, you know, we made it work. But Timmy was my manager also. I moved on from Harvey and Nancy to working with Tim McKenna, and he did real good for me. And then, you know, the Star Search thing, and then moving on to just, and I'm a person that when I do something, I don't look back at it, I move forward. I just go to the next thing. So I was doing quite a bit of music with people were wanting me to do this song or another song in different projects. So I just kept doing it. And so when I look back at it now and I go, God, that was a lot, a large body of work that I've done, you know.
mhm.
So
Mhm.
now what I'm doing, I'm presenting it on Facebook, because a lot of my fans now, a lot of things they've never heard. You know, they go,
Mm,
I didn't know you sang that, or you could sing like this. And I want people to know that I do different genres of music. I just don't sing dance music. You know, I was doing R&B before all of that, you know.
mm. See there? We just had this conversation, Miss Jeanie, the other day about how many of our artists are across all lanes
I
and
can't hear.
genres were.
Something happened.
Uh-oh.
Okay. Can
Can you
can
hear me?
you hear me?
I know she was talking. I couldn't hear what she said.
Okay.
Can you
Try
hear me now?
Terez.
Can you hear me now?
What was that?
Can you hear me? Test
Her
one.
sound is not on.
Okay, so can you hear me though?
I can hear you well.
Okay.
Yes.
Go ahead,
But
Jay.
all right. So what was your question, Rez? Until you,
Mm,
what was your?
Hi, Rez. I saw you on television.
Hi, Miss Tracy. I'm well. I'm well. I was just going to ask you. We would well actually make a point you just made. How we, or our artists, transcend across so many different genres of music, not just usually the one that they are known for. You know, and how the genres were kind of made up so people can put us in categories. But many of our artists are across so many lanes, like yourself. You know.
I don't know why I didn't hear her at all.
Well, what she was basically alluding to is the fact that we were talking about the other day how our artists are put in a box, or these genres were made so that we would be put in a box. And you know, we have talent that transcends genres. Did I get that good enough, Rez?
Yes.
Yeah, I
Okay.
understand. Well, because I come from cabaret and clubs, I used to sing all types of music. And I would sing male songs or songs that men sang a lot of
Mm.
times, because there wasn't that many female songs, you know, and a lot of females. So I would sing Hava Nagila. I would
Oh my
sing
goodness.
Don Ho, you know, because because I worked actually at a on Broadway, and there were a lot of tourists there. So that's why I did a lot of different songs. I did Chicago,
Mm.
and I mean, just all kinds of music. So I've always been a person that liked different types of music. So I didn't want to be in a box, and I never let no anybody put me in one. So when it became time for me to do my album, I didn't even know what kind of music I wanted to do. But because I was with Sylvester, it threw me into the dance category, and I gained a dance audience. So
Mhm.
what do? You do dance music.
Mhm. Mhm. I miss dance music. Disco is one of my favorite eras that I'm blessed to say I caught the wave right before. I don't understand um, why it was so unceremoniously negated, but I think it needs to come back. I really do. Because there's some powerhouse vocalists like yourself in that era and beyond. And I just think it needs to come back. That's all.
I didn't hear.
Oh my goodness. She said that she doesn't know why um it's gone. She thinks it was the best music ever, and that what you did and what you do is powerhouse, and it's coming back, and it's going to live on forever.
It never left. It really never left. I did a show for the BBC, and
Hmm.
they were saying, "Well, disco died." I said, "Disco didn't die because I'm still working." Okay, they
That's
just
right.
changed. They just made it more forward to the floor and called it dance music. So it's not called disco; it's called dance now.
Mhm.
And so it's the biggest genre in the world right now.
Mhm.
I have a cousin that
Absolutely.
that worked for Interscope, and he said, "Your genre is what's happening now."
Hmm. They're sampling those tracks.
Yeah, how about that? How
Mhm.
about that? So I'm looking to the side because I'm just
What did
trying to
Rez
make sure.
say?
Wait, say that again, Raz.
No, she asked what I said. I was like, they're sampling those tracks from the
Oh
era.
yeah, she said that they're sampling those tracks. They're do you
That's
find that
right.
you hear yourself in other songs often?
No, I haven't had the pleasure because they would pay me. I wish they would. Okay,
Yeah, yeah,
because
yeah.
I would have no mercy. Okay,
I
but
hear you.
but a lot of the new music now is sampled music, and it's like, what's the music going to be like in 20 years? Because if you're sampling and not using your brain to create new music, then what's it gonna be in 20 years?
Mm,
Exactly,
good point.
exactly. You know what, Rez? You know what I want you to do, honey? I want you to go out, come right back in
Okay.
on the same, and see if she can hear you better. Because Rez actually has the best questions. I do all the technological stuff, and it's a shame you
Okay.
can't hear her.
All right.
But you could see her, right?
Yes, I can see her, and I can see where she's talking, but I can't hear her.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna step out.
Yeah. Okay, honey. Yeah, because I could hear her perfectly also. So I just want to let you know that there are people listening. I mean, listening and watching. Clearly, there's people listening, and they're commenting on the side. And
Oh,
yeah, the unfortunately you can't see the comments, but I can. And One Queen Forever, also known as Loretta, says that Miss Jeannie's glasses are everything.
thank you, thank you,
100% she loves your glasses.
thank
And
you.
she also says that this show covers all ends of the artist spectrum. And we try to talk about more than just your artistry as a singer.
Uh huh.
Which is going to segue me to the next thing, which is your acting. And here Rez comes back. Say something, Rez. Say hi, and let's see if she can hear.
Hello. Test 1 2 1 2. Can
Oh,
you hear
there
me?
she is.
There we go.
Okay.
Yes, I can hear you well.
All right. Perfect.
All right. Perfect. So, I was just telling her I was reading one of Loretta's comments, that we cover the show covers all ends of the artist spectrum, and even in addition to her wonderful singing, she also has done some acting in the play Mahaliia. So I
Mhm.
was wondering if you could talk to us a little bit about that.
Well, when I was on Star Search, um, they saw me. The producer saw me from Sing Mahaliia Sing. Jennifer Holiday. Let me not get it twisted. Jennifer Holiday had done it first. So they saw me and they said, "We want you to, come and do the part." And I was just all happy and everything. And then I thought about it. I said, "Oh my God, what am I doing to my life?" Okay. But it turned out really, really wonderful. There were some great people in the show. Um, Richard Smallwood was the musical director. George Faison, was the producer, and all that. And they flew me into New York, and I learned the part. It was a big part, and lots of dialogue. And Glenn Jones was the minister in the show, so it was a lot of gifted people in there, and I was scared out of my mind. But once you say yes, you're going to do it, you have to be ready. And after the show was over, um, some of the New York kids said, "We've never seen anyone come into a play of this magnitude in such a short time and kill it."
Wow.
So
Wow.
that meant everything to me because, sometimes if I felt like a little country bumpkin, and that, all these New York divas, and I know that's what they thought about me as well, you know. But then I prayed the night before the show and I said, "Lord, let me understand what I'm getting ready to do. Let it just unfold in front of me and I get it." And that's exactly what happened. And one of the things that happened to me is that when you're rehearsing, you don't have the feedback from an audience. So
Mm.
when I started to speak, people would laugh in places that I'm saying they won't even let me finish my lines. If laughing. So that just destroyed me. But but once I got over that, once I had one under my belt, then it flowed fine for me. So I really enjoyed that. I've done
Nice.
her twice. I've done Mahaliia twice, actually. I did
Mm.
her in San Francisco about 5 years ago. And that was strange because there there was the first show that I did had a lot of people in it. The cast was real large. But the second time I did it, there were just only 3 people in it. And I didn't even have an understudy, which meant I couldn't get sick.
Mm.
So the first night we rehearsed in an office. So the first day that we rehearsed in the theater was the night before the show. Now get that.
Wow.
That's something. That's something.
So when we got to the theater, they had all these go stage left, stage right, which we didn't do in the office. We rehearsed in an office. They had steps for me to go up the steps and come down the step, go stage right, stage left. And so, and then the first night, the guy said, "Well, you can get one show in because there's not going to be anybody here tomorrow, just be like sponsors." And I was behind the stage and I heard all this noise. And I told a friend of mine, I said, "I thought he said nobody else going to be here." She said, "Well, he don't know who know you and who you know." And it was packed out there. I was scared out of my mind, you know, but after I got one or two, shows in, we were moving.
Nice. Nice.
Wonderful.
And I learned the show. I learned that show in 3 weeks. There were 28 songs, 13, I forget what you call them, monologues. And how was I
Mm.
going to learn it? I mean, I crammed so much stuff in, but I did it. I said, what if I have to mention something? I can't remember stuff like I used to.
Oh my goodness.
But it was okay. Once I got it under my belt, I was fine.
Nice.
I'm
Nice.
sure you. So Keith Anthony Fluid is watching. He says, "Please tell Jeanie Tracy, Keith Anthony Fluid, Martha Wash's background vocalist, along with Daryl Debon." Oh God,
Oh, Duvernay.
I put Dubonnet, thank
Duvernay.
you, says hello.
Hi, Daryl.
And he says,
Hi, Daryl. Hi. Who
yes.
else did you
So
say?
that's Keith saying that he and Darren, yeah,
Hi,
that
Keith.
they say hello and they love you.
I love you too,
Yeah.
Keith.
So you're listening to WJBR Internet Radio in the basement with JaVonne and Terez. So now you're still working all the time, everywhere. What what kinds of things are coming out? Because I know you have something cooking, something in the lab right now.
Oh yeah. Well, I have a song out with in the UK, and actually the song is 20 years old. And
Hmm.
when my songwriting partner Paul Masterson and I wrote it, it's called Happiness, and we felt like it would be a great song then, but then Princess Diana died, and we couldn't even buy airplay, so it tanked. So it became an underground hit, and then about 7 years later, another girl covered it,
Mm.
and they tried to get her to sound like me, and she did a wonderful job on it. But people were saying, well, that's not, we like the original, voice on it, that kind of thing. People can be something. Then another 7 years later, another label wanted to pop, because people really liked the song, so it did good. But then they'll fly me over to England just to do one song. I said, can I do two, please? you know. So when the music, the guy said, we just want you to do that because it's our theme song, and you're gonna know when the music comes on, you're gonna see why we just want you to do the one song. So they put the music on, and them kids were bouncing off the wall like popcorn. They
Nice.
knew all the
Wow.
words, all the nuances, all the ad libs. I said, sing, children. You guys sing, okay? So that now here we are in 2020, and Matt Waterhouse, who is a radio man for Kiss FM and Radio One. So they have these meetings, which they should have in America. They have these meetings in England once a month where the producers meet the artists, or promoters and that kind of thing, and they mingle. And so Paul was there and met Matt Waterhouse. And Matt used to be with MCA. He was in A&R also with MCA. So he's starting a new label. And Paul, I love the Happiness song. I would love to put it out again. And so it's really doing so. I'm so happy for this little song that we always felt like needed, just more than a club, can be played on the radio as well. So it's doing quite well, and we're really happy about it. And also I have a new song with Lenny Williams.
Oh,
Oh,
Lenny Williams,
yeah.
yeah.
did you hear me?
Yes.
Yep. Yes, we did. Lenny Williams.
Yeah, something's weird. I
What?
said I have a new song out with Lenny Williams.
Nice.
Yes, that's nice. What's the name of the song?
Okay. Yes. It's called All Night.
Uh,
Now, trust, when you hear it, you're going to be very surprised because it's a very sexy song. It's a
mm,
grown folk song.
mm.
Okay. And trust that when you hear it, it's going to it's going to make you laugh. But I really like the song. But when I was in the studio doing the song, um, I finished my part, and Lenny started to do his part, but I left because it was getting kind of late and I wanted to get home. I had a long drive. So I didn't hear the song until a couple of weeks ago, and Lenny sent it to me. But it's a slow jam. So everybody take a listen to it. It's not a song that's going to be on the praise and worship list. I guarantee you that. Okay.
Wow.
I will not be singing it
And
on
it's called
Sunday
All
morning.
Night, huh?
Huh? What was
And
that?
it's called All Night.
All Night. It's on
Now,
his new. It's on his new album called Fine. Fine. Fine.
Okay.
it's
Gotta look that one up.
Lenny Williams.
What'd you
It's,
say?
What
it's
was that?
Lenny Williams. It's Lenny Williams' song, and
Yeah.
you're singing on it.
It's featuring me. Yeah. It's Lenny Williams featuring me. And I have
All
some
right.
other things in the work with Dirty Disco that's coming. As soon as this pandemic is over, I'm
Yeah.
going back in the studio because I should have had this out, but nothing is worth my life. We just put some other records on and play them. I will not be going out until I feel it's safe.
Yeah, exactly. I think we all need to use our own common sense, and because our officials are failing us tremendously.
Or else I was given some equipment from Walter Afanasieff, who was Mariah Carey's producer. So he gave me this equipment that I could record at home, but I've never learned to use it. So I could be putting that together and doing my own stuff here.
That's amazing.
That's a thought,
amazing.
isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah. A lot of
Absolutely.
people do that now. You still have to finish. Yeah. They fly the vocals. Absolutely.
That's right.
All the time.
Well, I do a lot of stuff.
So what I'm gonna do?
Go ahead.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I
No,
do a
what?
lot of stuff from overseas, that are overseas, and they just, send me the links, and I go in the studio and produce them myself. But I could do it here at home if I learn how to, work the machines myself.
Absolutely. I think once you get the hang of it, it's not that difficult. Just like coming on to this show, you caught it up. You caught on to it, right? So what I want to do right now, because I'm learning some things too, is I want to play the song All Night with you and Lenny.
No.
You gonna play it? Yep. You said take the listen. And we all grown folks here.
Yeah.
And look, she's out now. Terez, you see?
Martha Wash heard it. She said, "Girl, I had to stop it and play it again to see if that's really what he said."
All right, that's it. All right. So should we put the babies to bed before we play this song? Is that what you said,
honey?
You know what we may have to do? We may have to mute our lines so that we don't hear the because it's voice sensitive, the system. If you talk while the music is being played, it kind of skips it a little bit. So I'll put
I'll be quiet.
Yeah, I'll mute you. Don't worry about it. But we're gonna play this now. I know that some people like to watch these shows with your children. Let the baby go get some juice right now, or go get that crayon and draw you a nice pretty picture. Draw mommy and grandma and a house. Don't come back until they draw a dog.
It's just a grown folks song. It's no cursing or anything.
Yeah, but still, these kids are smart. Let's do this.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Jeanie Tracy. This is a Lenny Williams song. Let's go on WJBR Internet Radio.
I'm ready to go. Coming here looking like Halle Berry or Miss Marilyn Monroe. On the bed, on the couch, on the table, on the floor. Get on your mark, get ready, get set. Let's go, let's go,
do it all
baby. Yeah.
In the dark, or do you want light?
I don't want it.
There's nothing off limits for me.
Feel you, baby.
Do you have any boundaries?
I ain't got none.
Tonight,
Let's do
it all night.
Tonight,
lay back, I'll make it all right.
Make me feel good,
my baby. To delight your fantasies.
Hey, let me put my face between your knees. Listen, I like the way that you wiggle. I like the way that you grind. On the top, on the bottom, face to face from behind. Oh, somebody really wanna make love to you, baby. And girl, you know who. Let's get this party started right now. It's a party. It's a party for two.
Let's do it all
You
night.
and me, baby.
In the dark, or do you want light?
Just the two of us.
There's nothing off limits for me.
Ain't no limits, girl.
Do you have any boundaries?
No, I ain't got none, baby.
Tonight,
Just do
let's
what you wanna
do
do.
it all night.
Do what you wanna do.
Lay back, I'll make it all
Lay
right.
back, baby.
My
Lay back,
lips
baby.
to delight your fantasy.
And I put my head between your
Let's
knees.
do it all night.
All night.
In the dark, or do you want light?
Turn them off, baby. Turn them lights off, baby. Girl, it's time for us to make love.
Let's do it all night.
All night.
Lay back, I'll make it all right.
All night, baby. Hey. From the bed, let's go to the couch. Let's do it till 6 in the morning.
Let's do it all night.
All night.
In the dark, or do you want light?
Don't need no
There's
lights,
nothing off
baby.
limits for me.
Come on.
Do you have any boundaries?
Just give it to me any way you want
Let's
it,
do it
baby.
all night.
Tonight, tonight,
Lay
tonight.
back, I'll make it all right.
What you gonna do to me,
My
baby?
aim is to delight
Give it to
your
me.
fantasy.
Give it to me, baby. Yeah.
Let's do it all night.
Let's do it, girl.
In the dark, or do you want light?
Come on with it,
There's nothing off
baby.
limits
Yeah.
for me.
I like it.
Do you
love it.
have any boundaries?
No boundaries, baby.
Tonight,
Ain't
let's
gotta
do
do
it all night.
You want to do?
I'll make it all right.
Hey, yes.
I think I found my new favorite song.
Okay.
I think I just found my new favorite song. I
Nice.
thought I was asthma listening to that song.
That brought me so much joy. That brought me so much joy.
Oh, did it?
For
Joy
sure.
is
Now
what
you
you
can
got.
imagine.
Yes,
You
yes.
can imagine that I hadn't heard his part until the other week, right? Last week I heard his part and I fell out.
Yeah, because he added something to it, didn't he? Yeah.
He had
Y'all-
a whole bunch of stuff. I'm telling
Yeah,
you, I
he
didn't hear his part at all in the studio. I didn't hear it until last week when it was, after he had finished his part, and then I heard it. Okay, and I said, well, all righty now.
When
Wow.
did you record that? When was that recorded?
It was recorded in February,
Ah,
just
This
like
year?
a couple of months ago.
Oh my God. Your vocals are outstanding.
Thank
Outstanding.
you. He
Let me tell
He
you.
said it was supposed to be a background part, right? And he said, Jeanie, people gonna be asking me who is that singing. He said, I can't say that you're doing backgrounds. He said, that's a lead part. He said, so I'm gonna feature, I'm gonna feature you. I said, okay, fine.
Oh my.
nice.
That's like that. Yep. Okay, so let's see what the comment.
You can't even say nothing.
Yeah, man. I'm a Scorpio,
Daryl
right?
Dubonnet, I don't want to hear from you. Don't you say nothing.
You know, my name is JaVonne, and I'm a Scorpio, and I'm about to play a song for you. Okay, and that,
They're online going nuts. It says grown folks vibe.
you know,
Okay.
And they're saying, is this available for purchase?
yes, it
it's
is.
on iTunes.
Yes, you can
guess
buy it on
you-
iTunes, and you got to look it up through Lenny Williams featuring Jeanie Tracy. It's called All Night. Please purchase this song. I can't be saying it myself. Just not a damn song. 'Cause otherwise, I'll be sexy all by myself, and that'd be a shame. Just and Mr. Lenny Williams, just the three of us being
I'm a,
sexy. That don't make no sense.
I mean, that showed up grown folks. He said,
Woo!
"What you think about it?" I said, "I like it." I said, "I've just, I've just never done anything like that, and so, but it's fine, And I love Lenny. Lenny's a good friend, and he and I had been talking about doing something for a while. He said, "Jeanie, I got this song. Come down, and I drove down and everything, and he had me do my part, and I left because I don't like for people to be in the studio when I'm doing my leads. So I left, and I didn't hear just my part and a couple of lines of his. And when I heard the whole song, I said, "Oh my God."
Yeah, yeah. Loretta
You said
said, "All I can say is, wow." That's, yeah.
and
And
So,
Keith,
and tell them to not forget happiness. Don't forget happiness.
yeah, we can ready to
It's
play
doing
that.
really
We
well.
gotta,
It
we
has a 200 over. It's just been out like a week or so, and it has 200,000 followers, and it's up to like 30,000 streams. It's not 100,000 or a million, but for independent, I think it's doing really, really well. I'm quite pleased with it.
nice.
yeah, we're gonna play that in a minute, but we gotta finish ironing out this all night thing
Oh, you
situation.
back to that.
You done caused the situation down here in the basement, and we got to get
Down there in the basement.
yeah,
Down to the
we
base.
got to get that ironed out. Okay. Yeah, somebody said, "Wow, hashtag no boundaries."
No
That's right.
boundaries. Yeah, baby. Okay.
Charlene Smith
And I
just
learned that. I mean, when they sang it to me, and I said, "Oh, okay, all right." And I learned it real quick and went in there and did my little part, And Lenny and I have this thing when we call each other. He'll say, "Well, what did I do to earn this honor?" And I'll do him the same way. So we were really good friends for a long time. But it's such an honor to sing with him and for him to ask me, you know. And when I look back, there's a video on my page of Bobby Womack and I that I just got like a week
Oh,
ago. Did you see
nice.
that?
No, I haven't.
It was
Definitely going to look at it.
well, yeah. Tell the listeners to go on my page, and there's a video of Bobby Womack. It's actually on YouTube, and it was just put on there, and I had never ever seen it. And it's Bobby
Wow.
Womack and I in London doing "It's a Man's World" because he
Mm.
and I did that song a long time ago, and I'm so happy to have it because Bobby's gone now, and
Right,
I was
right.
almost scared to look at it, because I didn't know how my hair was
Yeah.
going or anything like that. So it was just such a delight to see it, after all these years.
Mm. Mm.
Beautiful.
Nice.
Beautiful.
So I've done something with
So,
Sylvester, Bobby Womack, now Lenny Williams, and so I've sang with some really great singers.
absolutely, absolutely. And Miss Charlene Smith just jumped on and said, "Good evening, everyone." Miss Smith, you done missed this song. You missed this song called "All Night" with Lenny Williams featuring Miss Jeanie Tracy. Now, Miss Smith, you one of the sexy people. You got to get that song. I can't play it because it's dangerous. What we gonna go to happiness now? Because happy. I can't play it again for you, Miss Smith, but I'm gonna tell you,
They started
we'll
playing
play
it
it.
in Europe before it was even released. Somebody leaked it, and they were
Oh,
playing it.
It's my new favorite song. I'm gonna be playing it on this show, especially
Okay.
when there's certain people that I'm thinking about.
oh no.
I say a certain person. Let me clean that up. A certain person that I'm thinking of. Right.
Troy
Yeah.
Troy
Okay.
Brunstein is probably having a fit right about now. Your friend Troy.
Oh, I love Troy. Hi,
And I don't-
Troy, if you're listening.
And Keith
I
Anthony
love you.
Ford, he said he just bought it. Nice.
That's
Keith.
right.
Keith
That's
just
right.
bought
Now
it.
listen to
Thank you, Keith.
Yep. Now let's get into some happiness because I actually, oh gee, y'all just keep talking. Out now.
Okay.
Miss Jeannie, I see you
I
got a
don't.
whole bunch of plaques on that wall behind you over there. That just makes me smile. I love it. I love it.
Oh, thank you. They used to be hidden in the hallway, with lights on and stuff. But nobody goes through the hallway, so put them in my little sitting room and stuff. And I didn't really bring them out until Aretha passed. And when Aretha passed, I had forgotten about the plaques and stuff. And so I brought them out. I said they need to be out.
Hmm. Nice.
Wow.
So
And
there's
So
some
what?
of
Why?
Mariah. What was that?
Why when Aretha passed? Why when Aretha passed, you decided to bring them out?
Well, I just, hadn't I don't think about the plaques, and so they're in the hall, and if people go through there, then, they could see them. But I hadn't thought about them. But when she passed, it made me think about them because I did those projects. So I decided to bring them out, and it just made me think about her. And when I did it, I'm going to be doing something for CBS called They Want to Know What It Was Like to Do the Projects with Whitney.
Oh,
And I said, well,
nice.
I'm glad about that because, all the stuff, all the messy stuff, it's not important. That's not what we want to hear and what we want to see. We want to hear her, about her works. So I'm really
Yeah.
happy that they're going to do a show like that. And I told the woman, I said, listen, it's time for that to come to light. So they're interviewing people like myself that behind the scenes, that sang behind her, that played behind her, and that kind of thing.
Nice.
Beautiful. Looking forward to that. And that's right. And one thing you'll notice about this show is that we don't talk about the messy stuff too much. Like we're
Okay.
not a Williams trash. We want to know about your accomplishments and the things that make you happy. And if you went through something, so did we.
Yeah.
How did you go? How did you get there? And maybe you could help us, or we could help somebody else. But it's never like a rag kind of thing. We wanted to have a show where we give people their flowers while they can smell them. And I just want to know
That's
I want you to know that we appreciate your contributions to the music that are the soundtrack of our lives. And that's why, when Troy mentioned your name, I jumped at the opportunity to have you on the
thank
show.
I appreciate that. Yeah, it's been a quite a wonderful journey, and I don't like shows that you're gonna have the clinics, or you're hearing about all the trauma, and I want to hear about their accomplishments. I want to hear what they did, how they got there. So I appreciate you guys as
Yeah.
well.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
So
Yeah.
now we done moved up a level from the basement to a happy and
To a happy
so,
place, huh? To a happy
yeah.
place.
We don't listen to the song.
Because that
Smoke
song does take you there now. You have to agree with that. It does take you there.
Yes.
90 seconds.
We done had the cigarette.
And a
But
glass
you know what?
of
We don't
wine,
let
honey.
this.
Okay. He said, wait a minute, let me go get a cigarette and a glass of wine.
See?
Yeah, that song, everybody remember it's Lenny Williams, All Night, featuring Jeanie Tracy. Now we're about to hear a countdown, and I don't want
60 seconds.
I don't want you heard that 60 seconds. I don't want
Yeah.
her counting down while I play your song, so I'm gonna wait until she finishes. We got 1 more minute for her to finish. That's my tracker. That's the person. That's the little sort of alarm that tells me, okay, you've been talking people's ear off, JaVonne. Let them go back to their lives to remind, because I could listen to people all night. I love listening to people's stories, their lives, and there's so much more that we could ask you.
Yeah. But it's been fun, though. It's been fun.
I love that. Thank you. Everybody should be yay, clap.
10 seconds.
Yeah, because you know what? it's got to be fun. If it's not fun, why in the heck are we doing it, right? So let's
Yeah.
go to some happiness. That's fun. Let's do this.
You know how to make it right. You know how to make it right for me. Yeah. When everything is going wrong, you know how to make me strong. When problems in my life, sometimes it wears me down. I need a release. I do need a release. I need a release. You know how to make me feel. You know how to make it real. Keep me going on. You always keep me going strong. Yeah. When pressures of the world, sometimes I wear me down. I need a release. I do need a release. I need a release. Take me higher.
Now that is fire. That is dope. That is beautiful. That is happiness.
That's a big song.
That wasn't the original mix though. That's not the
That
original
wasn't the.
mix though.
Oh,
That's a there's like 9 mixes or something. That's not the original.
oh, oh. Okay.
That's a,
Would you
Like that
Okay.
one.
Did you play the remix? What
We
was
like
that?
that
Okay.
one, and
Uh,
I that's the first one that popped up when I went to buy it. So what I'll do is
okay.
I'll look it up again and see what happens. See if we can
It's called
find
I think of the House of Virus mix is the one that's like the original mix.
the House of whom?
House they have these strange names. House of Virus.
The
Virus?
House
The
of
House of Virus. And I don't know where that came from, but the House of Virus mix is the one they're playing.
Okay. So
HOV.
I'm gonna look for that one.
Okay.
And in the meanwhile, I would love it. We would love it if you could give us a drop. Would you be willing to do that? A drop for the show?
Sure, I would. Yeah.
That's a big song. You can tell. That's a huge
It
song.
is. And actually I was listening to it. I'm like, okay, my asthma is messing with me, but if it wasn't, I could be jumping up and down to this thing. Okay, if I wasn't asthmatic, I would just be jumping up and down to it.
You know, because
But as it is, I
they
could
have different. Well, you really could to the original mix, you know, because this one has lots of ins and outs and rises, falls, and stuff. You know, I don't know what audience this goes to, but you know, they've been purchasing it, so whatever. Okay, but the one that's most
Okay.
popular is the House of Virus mix. That's the original one.
Okay.
That's like
Okay,
like
so,
the
so
original.
I
Okay.
found the House Virus one, which I just downloaded, and I'm gonna play it in a minute. But I'm gonna tell you that the one that I played actually sold more copies than the House of Virus one. So they
That's
both they almost
they
neck
neck and
and
neck.
neck.
Yeah, that's
Ooh.
what
Almost.
I read this morning. And I was saying, okay, I don't know what audience this is, rave audience or whatever.
Yeah.
Fine.
Over.
Okay.
Because it's got a lot of that in it. Is the Ministry of
Actually, when
Sound?
I first did it, there's only been one mix all these years. Only one mix, and that's
Wow.
originally this is the first time this song has had this many mixes.
Wow.
And
Yeah.
I kind of felt some kind of way about it. I said, well, they're trying to reach a bunch of, you know, different audiences.
I'm looking at seven
So,
mixes, 7 different versions of the song right now.
Nice.
I'm looking, and that is good because don't feel no kind of way because that just means
yeah,
that
Slim.
there's a
Yeah.
different version for different people, different tastes. You know, different DJs are gonna like a different version. You know. Miss Smith says, "Wow, beautiful voice, great sound." And
Oh,
Sonia,
I'm fine. But at first I was like, why does it? Yeah. I'm
so
fine with it. I'm real fine with it. Okay.
yeah. Sonia Moore says already on my added to playlist. Thank you for a great show, ladies. Learned a lot. This is true. This is true. And Marsha Bonner says it's fire.
Oh,
So
wonderful. Thank you.
Those
if you could,
vocals, those big body, those are big club arena vocals, you know, and that's what those kind of vocals that just fill a room, you know, that you have to kind of adjust your stuff around the vocalist, you know, is
Yeah.
what I miss. You know, I miss those.
Yeah.
absolutely.
That's what, you know, those vocals make the club, you know, rock. And so they need to bring them back, you know. It's just missing, you know. Sometimes the instrumental stuff with all the crash bang, you know, it doesn't work for me. I said, how do you go to the store and say, I want this record that sounds like this, crash bang bing, you know, boom.
Yeah, right. I got you. So can you give us hi? This is Jeanie Tracy, and you're in the basement with JaVonne and Terez.
Oh, wait. Hi, I'm Jeanie Tracy. You're in the basement with JaVonne and Terez.
Thank you so much. All right, and we're gonna play this song.
And if that doesn't come out right, I'll do one on the side for you, okay?
Oh, I would love
Thank
that. I
you.
would love that. I would love that. Hold on now, everybody. If that first version wasn't happiness enough for you, here's some more happiness right here on WJBR Internet Radio in the basement with JaVonne and Terez and Jeanie Tracy.
You know how to make it right. You know how to make it right for me. Yeah. When everything is going wrong, you know how to make it strong. When problems in my life, sometimes it wears me down. I do.
Can y'all still hear it?
Problems in my life. Sometimes it wears me down. Need a feeling, I do need a feeling. I need a feeling. Take me higher. I need it. I do. Happiness. Oh, take me higher. Yeah. I need it. I do. Take me higher. I need it. I do.
Woo! All right now. All right.
Big
I
song.
need a release. I need a release.
That, you know what? That's my type of dance music. To be honest, that's it right there. That's what I like. That's what I like.
Happy,
I love it.
happy music.
Mhm.
Yes, I love it.
Well,
Love it.
thank you. Thank you. That went from
Amazing.
the basement to upstairs, huh?
Exactly.
So now out for the sunshine, right? Out from the basement, out into the sunlight, where everybody can see you jumping for joy. So everybody, I want you to, within the sound of my voice, go on iTunes and purchase Happiness by Miss Jeanie Tracy.
Twen-
Support our living legends.
Make sure it's
Please.
2020. Happiness 2020.
Happiness 2020. Get the House of Virus
Yeah.
version, because that's the one we like.
Okay, that's what I like.
Darn it. So let's do it. Let's do it.
Yeah.
So can you tell everybody how they can find you, follow you, find your music, find, just find you going forward if they want to follow you?
On Facebook and IG, Instagram. My website is JeanieTracy.com. And I'll be there, and you can find me. Did I say iTunes?
Yes.
Amazon, all of the above. Okay, DZ.
Right.
Nice.
That's what's up. Thank you so very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
They are loving the song. Loretta says she's loving the song Happiness. And Debbie Turner says that song reminds her of dancing on top of the speakers in the club. Okay, Debbie, you're telling too much. You know what? Debbie, I was telling too much earlier. Now you telling too much. But that's all right, because
Okay.
on good time. Ain't no shame and nobody game. Do it. I wish I could climb up on somebody's speaker now. I'd break my hip. But that's that type of music.
Yeah, happy music.
We need
Happy music. And thank you so much.
Well, it was my pleasure, and you ladies were so much fun. And
Thank
thank you for having me on
Thank
your show.
you.
Okay, we'll do it again sometime. All right.
Yes,
Yes,
we would love that.
Do it.
All right.
And tell your friends.
I'll have to tell Winnie. I'm gonna have to tell Winnie.
Yes.
Good night.
Yes, but wait now.
Okay.
Wait.
Oh, okay.
You can tell Lenny, but he can't be coming on here singing about the bed.
Yes, he can. Yes, he can.
Yes, he can.
All right.
From the bed
he
to
can come.
the couch to the table, huh?
Yes, he can. Lenny can do
Yeah,
what
he
he wants. He's another one. He can do what he wants.
He can come. That's true. He can come and he can sing whatever he want to sing and say whatever he want to say. He
Yeah,
can
okay.
definitely.
All right.
But if you want to see a black girl turn red, then I guess that's what he'll do.
Okay.
Thank you so much, darling. Have a good
Thank
night.
you,
Thank
ladies. And
Thank
you
you.
too.
Thank you, Queen.
Bye now.
Thank you. Thank you.
you. Oh my God, I love her. I love her. I love her.
The legend, Miss Jeanie Tracy. Unforgettable vocals. Unforgettable vocals.
Yes, yes, yes. So I want to thank all of you for listening again. And that song was amazing. She was in great voice.
Yo, let me tell you something. Miss Jeanie Tracy has always had chops. First of all, just real fast, like, and I didn't want to keep talking while she was giving us the history, but if you sang anywhere near Sylvester with as much of a vocal perfection as he was, you had to have your chops. All of those ladies could blow. They ain't need no juries.
Yeah. Exactly. So yeah, he took it seriously. So
yeah, for sure.
And yeah, so that was legendary. Yet again, we've had yet another legendary show. And for those of you listening, you need to subscribe to the YouTube page if you haven't, like the Facebook page if you haven't. And I'm going to ask y'all a favor. Please tell a friend to do the same. Share and tell a friend to like the show, because it'd be a shame if Bonnie Pointer comes on here Saturday and there's nobody to listen to her.
Bonnie Pointer is coming Saturday. You better show that queen some love.
And yes, we can. Yes, we can. Yes, we can. Or why can't we? If we want it, yes, we can. So look, let's do that. Everybody, please keep yourself safe. Stay inside as much as you possibly can, please. And we'll see you Saturday. Saturday. Good night, everybody.